Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. I'll give you my financial opinion, and we'll dive right in: dollar, yields, precious metals, and then the commodities that I follow. So let's dive right in. I'll give you my opinions here. We've got the DXY. Like I said before, from a statistical probability, you've got larger selling pressure. You've got the opening and closing prices coming up to where the buyers equal the sellers, and now the sellers are pushing this lower. Now what we want to look at is we want to see if there's any follow through here. We call it follow through. Are we going to get some selling pressure to drive this down, or are the sellers going to kind of slow down, hit this support line, and we bounce higher in a kind of pattern that looks something like that? So that's what we have to see. We have to see what these sellers and buyers are doing and how much pressure is behind this sell-off today. What we want to see, if we're bullish in commodities and precious metals, is we want to see this come down, pause, and then break below and go lower for the dollar. Now, this setup basically is mimicking what we saw in the mid-2000s. In the mid-2000s, we also had a pull up here where we were up against a downtrend line, and in 2002 we basically peaked out in a rising wedge and broke it to the downside, and then had these consolidation where we stair-stepped lower with large selling pressure, not much buying pressure days. That's that stair-step pattern. So as we come today, we are right at that support resistance line, and we're looking for information on if we're going to have a throw over top and a potential move lower. So we're right at that time. We got to watch and see what's going on, but I think it's a high likelihood where at some point in this near future, within a year, we are going to break down and head a lot lower. But it's looking like it's trying to do it now. We have to see if the sellers are there and we can push it lower. The 10-year yield also looks like it's trying to top out a little bit. We've got the wick at the top. The sellers pushed it back. So it tried running, and people came in and bought it up at this tip here. Could it be central bank buying? I don't know. Who knows? But we do have a wick at the top. Usually you get wicks at the top where we could reverse lower. Could. Statistical probability. TLT heading lower today, down 1%. We gapped lower, but headed up with momentum to where it closed. But it was still a down day, 1%. Obviously, big long-term. Momentum's obviously downward. So I think that there's further downside. If we bounce in the short term, doesn't really matter. I think yields will go up. Bond prices, this is bond prices, will go down. And then the 30-year yield also heading higher, but we still have that wick at the top here. It makes me think that there's some selling pressure up there. So that's what we're seeing with the candlesticks. The TYX to TNX just moving sideways today, minus 0.04%. So basically a sideways day. Commodities firming up, looking like they want to go higher. That looks fantastic. More or less, this just looks like an oil chart if you were to chart this out, breakout, back test, and then the move higher. So that's the oil chart, more or less. Gold moving sideways. I still like the buying pressure here. I like that we got a wick at the bottom. You know, I would be a buyer here. I think it looks good, and it looks like we are trying to put in a nice little bottom here to move on up. Silver also coming with the candlestick, like I drew in yesterday, that we could have potentially that candlestick. Well, what do we have today? We've got a wick at the bottom and that candlestick. So that's what I'm seeing today. It is that exact pattern that I thought we were going to throw today. Now we just want to see the buyers step in. The opening and closing prices of these candlesticks are contracting. The buyers are starting to equal the sellers. The momentum is slowing, and eventually we'll get our U-shaped turn and bottom. Platinum, all-star winner today of precious metals. Platinum putting in a 2.88% up day today. Looking fantastic. That is one of my favorite metals. XEU to gold ratio heading a little bit lower. We do have momentum heading higher. That's why it's a green candlestick, but we still finished minus 0.44. Still in this pattern of uncertainty. That's what megaphone patterns are. I'm pretty certain it will go higher over time. In the short term, we'll see what happens. SILJ heading a little bit lower today, but we're still above support. I like it down here. Same with GDX. We've got a little wicks at the bottom. Momentum's coming on up. It does look like it wants to go higher, with that momentum continuing probably into tomorrow. Scrolling on down, looking at crude oil. Crude oil putting in a bullish engulfing, heading higher. If you guys are a platinum membership on the website, you know what companies I like. We've done the midweek updates. We've done the question and answer sessions during the weekend. Hopefully you're following along. A lot of those companies did very well today. Natural gas also putting in more of a bullish pattern here. Bullish engulfing, looks like we're trying to put in a bottom. I don't know if we're going to get much lower than where we are today, but I think we're going higher. It's looking good, and I like the way that this all looks. XOP, yeah, you know me. We've come on back down. Definitely some buying pressure today. Heading higher. We are still below this strong resistance line that we've hit our head on a couple of times before. Are we going to break this second to the upside? It's possible. This is a longer term view. We've got resistance coming through this guy, through right where the white line is up here. And we look excellent from a perspective of a logarithmic chart breaking out of this guy and about to head higher. It looks really good. OIH is also putting down the rubber, baby. It's doing burnouts to the upside. There's the downtrend. We're flirting with the downtrend line. We're doing a little turtle head. Doing some turtle heading, guys. There we are, right on top of that line. Good job, OIH, breaking out today, looking fantastic. Hopefully this continues. We might get a little bit of a slowdown before we head higher in terms of a bloody nose. Maybe we get a little bloody nose here tomorrow, and then we go. The path is unknown, but it's looking good. Scrolling down to uranium, my boy uraniums. So looking at uranium, this is the future contract pricing. We got a nice little consolidation there. We're starting to head higher. It's looking good, fellas, and it's looking good. Physical Uranium Trust putting in a massive bullish engulfing. If we end tomorrow strong and above this kind of resistance line, maybe we'll attack that 1815 area and try to break out. Now, if we break out of this, I mean, this is going to be gonzo, guys. We're going to be moving. If we break that 1815 mark and close above it, we're putting in the green army right now. What's the green army? Big green candlesticks moving up. That is bullish. Not bull shy, bullish. So it's looking really good. We got a nice big fat day today. Finished strong. Everything we wanted. Go uranium bulls. URNM also getting the bullish engulfing. Going higher for URNM. This is a reversal candlestick. We're also seeing this in the overall markets. The S&P 500, US NASDAQ, they're all throwing in these big bullish engulfings. I think this looks fantastic for a move higher. CCJ, yeah, this thing got hit yesterday. Putting a little bit of bullishness today in terms of momentum. Not so much in terms of absolute price. But that's looking good as well for CCJ. And hopefully we can turn this thing around. TAN also getting some buying pressure. We've got a bullish piercing. Usually that resolves itself higher. So that's still trying to do a stick save right at the support level. We've got copper looking good, bullish engulfing. That looks good to go higher. That is a reversal candlestick. Way to go, COPX. The CRB to S&P 500, we're getting a little bit more of a bearish tone. We could come back a little bit where the S&P 500 outperforms in the short term and commodities still go up with it. That's a possibility. We've got rare earths putting in a bullish engulfing. That looks like it wants to go higher. Reversal candlestick. Lithium putting in the bullish piercing, touching its support level down here. Looks like it wants to go higher. Looking ultra bullish. S&P 500, Bullish Engulfing, going to go higher. That is a good sign right there. Same with the NASDAQ composite. So on the short term, I think they're going to go higher. We'll have to see what the buyers do, what the follow through is, and see what those candlesticks do. Again, I'm bearish on the overall markets, bullish in the short term, and I'm bullish in our commodities, and I'm bullish in the short and long term for commodities. EEM, we got a weaker dollar. That's obviously manifesting itself in a more bullish stance. So that looks good for EEM. I hold no position in it, just an FYI. XHB also getting a little bit more of a bounce off this bottom here, looking a lot better. We had kind of a fake out in the beginning of the day, ending quite strong in a lot of these different sectors, but that's looking a lot stronger than it did before. Lumber heading higher, bullish engulfing, that wants to go higher. If we were in a housing market crash, I don't know why this would be going up. So I think the housing bears are going to have some explaining to do. Because if we go higher here and the housing market goes higher and interest rates go lower, well, I don't know. The bearish camp is going to be choking on their spit, I guess. That's what I'm doing, right? Looking at cocoa futures, bullish engulfing, going to head higher here. Looks fantastic. Wheat, a little bit of a sell-off today. Still looks all right. Soybeans, just moving sideways. Not really, I'd say that's more bearish than bullish at this particular time for soybeans. Corn, also, it's coming back up. Again, this doesn't look ultra bullish. I think we're going to fill this gap and then roll back over again, but we'll see when we get there. Bullish right now, but we'll see if it fills this gap if we start seeing some reversal signs. Copper looking great. Nice little hammer candlestick today. Hopefully we head on higher, but that looks good. Moo is moving higher. Big bullish engulfing. That wants to go higher for sure. Looks great. We've got aluminum heading higher. That is bouncing off that support level that we've got, and I think that will probably have some follow through to the upside. And then dry bulk shipping slightly lower, but most of the companies were on up today. So that's what I got for today, guys. We had massive volatility, a sell-off in the beginning of the day, and then buying pressure coming in and just ripping it to the upside. I think oil and natural gas look good here. I think uranium looks good here. I think everything looks good on the short term. So I think we're going to see a short-term bounce here. Hopefully we get some momentum behind it. This could be the bottom of oil where we just start rocketing higher. We'll see. Again, I don't try to make these short-term predictions. Right now, they look good. And I'm positioned long in basically all of it. If you guys need help picking companies, go ahead and sign up for the Platinum membership on the finding-value.com that you see there in the corner. I've got a lot of picks on there that I'm using in my portfolio. You can see my portfolio, what I'm doing, and you can choose from whatever you like if it fits within your portfolio and your investment horizon and your investment strategies. But I've got a lot of leverage companies too that I've identified that are going to basically leverage the price move to the upside for oil and natural gas. All right, guys, that's what I've got for today. Hopefully you guys are having a good day, and we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.